American Graffiti is not merely an iconic film capturing the spirit of American youth culture in the 1960s. It also served as a launching pad for a generation of future Hollywood stars. Yet behind its remarkable success, grossing over $200 million, the lives of the young actors who brought the story to life unfold as a richly layered portrait, marked not only by triumph, but also by deeply poignant and often painful undertones. 1. Candy Clark, the blossom that defied injustice amid the glitter. Among the young talents who emerged from the 1973 classic American Graffiti, Candy Clark, who portrayed Debbie Dunham, left the most profound impression, becoming the only cast member to receive a prestigious Academy Award nomination. Yet behind the dazzling success of a film that generated enormous revenue lay a harsh and deeply unfair reality. While the producers reaped substantial profits, Candy, who poured her heart and energy into 28 grueling nights of filming, received only a modest paycheck, reportedly less than $5,000. She was entirely excluded from the financial rewards of the very success she helped create, a stark reflection of the inequities within a notoriously unforgiving industry. However, rather than allowing such injustice to extinguish her passion, Candy Clark demonstrated the resilience of a woman unwilling to bow to adversity. She chose not to dwell in resentment, but instead redirected her path with strength and determination. While continuing to sustain a steady acting career, she also found success in real estate, proving that her capabilities extended far beyond the confines of the film set. Now, at the age of 78 in 2026, Candy Clark stands as a symbol of perseverance and self-possession. She has navigated the highs and lows of Hollywood with grace, leaving behind the injustices of the past to embrace a life of fulfillment. Her story is not only a lesson about the rights of artists, but also a powerful testament to inner strength, the ability to shape one's own destiny, no matter how challenging the circumstances. 2. Richard Dreyfuss, A Journey Through the Storm, From the Abyss to the Light. Richard Dreyfuss was not only the intellectual core of American Graffiti, but also one of the most brilliant talents Hollywood has ever produced. With a string of major successes in films like Jaws, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and most notably his Academy Award for Best Actor in 1977, he reached the pinnacle of fame at a remarkably young age. Yet such dazzling glory came with its own unforgiving traps. Immersed in adulation, Dreyfuss drifted into addiction, and his life and career gradually spiraled into the darkness of substance abuse and mounting, unspoken pressures. A tragic turning point arrived in 1982, when a devastating car accident, fueled by cocaine use, pushed him to the very edge of despair. It was a moment of absolute collapse, where he was forced to confront the ruins of his own life. But rather than surrender, Dreyfuss chose to fight. In seeking help, he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, an essential revelation that finally gave clarity to the inner turmoil he had long endured. From the ashes of that breakdown, Richard Dreyfuss forged an extraordinary comeback. He emerged as a pioneer and a courageous voice in Hollywood, advocating for mental health awareness and openly confronting struggles that many others preferred to hide. Today, he is not only remembered as a legendary actor, but also as a symbol of resilience and healing, a living testament that even from the deepest abyss, one can rediscover purpose and rise to live a meaningful, authentic life. 3. Ron Howard, From the Spotlight to a Billion-Dollar Directing Empire. Before American Graffiti became a cultural landmark, Ron Howard was already a familiar and promising face in Hollywood. Few people realized that his path to the role of Steve Bolander nearly fell apart due to a simple misunderstanding. He almost turned it down, mistakenly believing it was a musical. Yet, that very decision to accept the role became a defining turning point, not only solidifying his acting credibility, but also serving as the perfect springboard toward his later success in the hit series Happy Days. However, for Ron Howard, acting was merely the beginning. With a sharp artistic instinct and a forward-thinking vision, he executed a remarkable transition, from in front of the camera to behind it, stepping into the director's chair, where he would ultimately find his most powerful creative voice. Masterpieces like Apollo 13, filled with gripping tension and a beautiful mind, the film that earned him the Academy Award for Best Director, cemented his place among the most accomplished filmmakers in cinematic history. From the modest paychecks of his early career, Ron Howard went on to build a filmmaking empire valued at around $200 million. His success was never a matter of luck, but the result of persistence, adaptability, and an unrelenting drive to reach new heights. Ron Howard stands as a powerful testament to the idea that a true artist never confines themselves, but continually uses passion as a gateway to greater horizons. 4. Mackenzie Phillips, a journey back to the light after the storms of childhood. Mackenzie Phillips' story is not merely a somber chapter in Hollywood. It is one of the most harrowing and painful tragedies any artist has ever endured. When she appeared in the film at just 12 years old, she carried an air of innocence and youthful charm. Yet behind that delicate image lay a reality far darker than anyone could have imagined. Shockingly and heartbreakingly, she had already been caught in the grip of addiction by the age of 11, an age when life should have been filled with gentle dreams, not the looming shadows of nightmares threatening to consume her. Her life became a long and fragile struggle, a journey marked by solitude as she battled both her inner demons and deeply traumatic wounds inflicted within her own family. The disturbing allegations of abuse by her father left scars that would never fully heal, shaping a past defined by betrayal and profound emotional pain. During those years, the glow of fame could not mask the fractures within her soul. Instead, it often pushed her deeper into the spiral of addiction, as she sought escape from a reality too painful to bear. And yet, after decades of turmoil, when hope itself seemed all but extinguished, Mackenzie Phillips revealed the resilience of a true survivor. She found the courage to confront her past, to face her deepest wounds, and to begin the long journey toward healing. Today, Mackenzie is not only remembered as an actress, but as a symbol of rebirth, a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit, proving that even when life strips away the beauty of one's childhood, it can never take away the possibility of renewal and a new beginning rising from the ashes. 5. Cindy Williams, a radiant smile and an enduring legacy in the hearts of audiences. In the vibrant tapestry of American Graffiti, Cindy Williams stood out with her natural beauty, innocence, and an effortlessly authentic connection with Ron Howard that created a perfect on-screen chemistry, one that left a lasting impression on audiences. If Ron Howard embodied introspection and thoughtful depth, Cindy Williams brought a refreshing breeze of sincerity, warmth, and unmistakable charm. Building on that breakthrough, she went on to truly flourish, becoming a golden icon of sitcom television through her unforgettable role in Laverne and Shirley. Her presence on screen was more than entertainment. It was companionship, a familiar and comforting presence in millions of American homes for decades. Despite her remarkable success, Cindy Williams was always remembered by colleagues as a deeply humble artist, someone who approached her craft with unwavering passion and a smile that never faded. She didn't just create memorable characters. She forged genuine emotional connections with her audience through performances that felt natural, heartfelt, and profoundly human. Her passing in January 2023 at the age of 75 was not only a significant loss to the entertainment world, but also a deeply personal moment of grief for millions who felt as though they had lost a cherished friend. Though Cindy Williams has completed her extraordinary journey, the joyful melodies, laughter, and emotional depth she brought to her roles will endure. She leaves behind a priceless artistic legacy, one that reminds us that true artists never truly disappear. They continue to live on through the images they created, the memories they gifted us, and the enduring love held for them by generations of audiences. 6. Harrison Ford, from a quiet carpenter to an immortal legend of Hollywood. The story of Harrison Ford stands as one of the most compelling testaments to the extraordinary turns of fate. Long before the world bowed to his iconic portrayals of Han Solo in Star Wars or the adventurous archaeologist Indiana Jones, Ford was far from a sought-after star. He lived a modest life as a dedicated carpenter, quietly working on film sets to support his family during financially uncertain times. His connection to the role of Bob Falfa in American Graffiti nearly never came to be, as he initially refused the part due to the modest pay offered, a sum that felt far too small for an actor hoping for a true breakthrough. Yet, a last-minute change of heart became the golden doorway that opened the path to legend. From saws, chisels, and wooden planks, he stepped onto the silver screen and swiftly captivated audiences with his rugged masculinity, raw charisma, and unmistakable presence. From an anonymous laborer, Harrison Ford rose to become a global cinematic superstar, sustaining his status as one of Hollywood's most enduring box office icons across decades. By 2026, at the age of 83, Harrison Ford is far more than a veteran actor. He is a symbol, a living legacy of modern cinema. His story continues to inspire millions. No matter where you begin, whether holding a carpenter's tools or standing beneath the spotlight, with resilience and determination, you can write the greatest chapters of your life. He has proven that from life's quietest, most humble notes, a legend can indeed be forged. 7. Paul Le Mat, a rugged warrior and the legendary king of drag racing on screen. In American Graffiti, if there is one face that embodies the wild freedom and gritty, road-worn spirit of the 1960s, it can only be Paul Le Mat in the role of the king of drag racing, John Milner. Having emerged from the Vietnam War with the weight of harsh, formative experiences, Le Mat did not need to overact to convey the character's toughness, emotional restraint, and undeniable magnetism. For him, every scene behind the wheel of a roaring hot rod felt less like performance and more like instinct unleashed, a release shaped by years marked by conflict and survival. Yet, Paul Le Mat's life on set was filled with its own quiet lulls and sudden bursts of intensity. Carrying the spirit of a warrior, he often left the crew on edge with unpredictable pranks and spontaneous clashes born from an unyielding, fiercely independent nature. And still, it was precisely that edge, that defiant unpredictability, that gave John Milner a rare authenticity. His raw, instinct-driven performance resonated deeply, earning him an Academy Award nomination, well-deserved recognition for an artist who refused to follow conventional paths. Paul Le Mat is more than an actor. He is the embodiment of a generation that endured hardship and emerged in search of identity beneath the glow of the spotlight. Though his career has followed a path as uneven and exhilarating as the races he portrayed, his legacy in American Graffiti remains irreplaceable, a lasting image of a proud cinematic warrior who captured the soul of an era. 8. Charles Martin Smith, the innocent toad, and a journey into cinematic storytelling mastery. In American Graffiti, if there is one character who makes audiences both laugh and ache with sympathy, it is Terry the Toad, the naive, awkward young man who longs to belong to the world of confident, self-assured men. Charles Martin Smith brought this role to life with such authenticity that many believed he truly embodied that same clumsy vulnerability. Yet behind the seemingly submissive and timid figure on screen was a sharp artistic mind and a spirit that refused to be confined by any predefined image. While many of his co-stars chose to remain in the spotlight of acting, Charles Martin Smith made a bold and transformative pivot into directing. Rather than pursuing gritty or sensational themes, he chose to tell stories with heart. Through beloved family classics like Air Bud, he proved that his talents extended far beyond performance. He became a true magician of emotional storytelling, forging deep connections between humans and the animal world. His films may not rely on spectacle, but they possess a quiet, powerful ability to warm the soul, delivering messages of love, compassion, and connection. From the young man once trapped in the image of the naive toad, Charles Martin Smith ultimately liberated himself through talent and determination. He demonstrated that in the world of cinema, The director is often the greatest storyteller of all. Today, when audiences reflect on his journey, they remember not only the boy driving a worn-out Vespa, but also admire a gifted filmmaker who used sincerity and heart to create lasting human values within the realm of family cinema. 9. Bo Hopkins, the villain with a heart burning for the art of acting. In the world of cinema, there are actors who do not need to become A-list superstars to capture the audience's hearts. They leave their mark through remarkable endurance and consistency. Bo Hopkins was one such artist. In his role as Joe Young, the tough, commanding leader of the Pharaoh's gang in American Graffiti, he crafted a villain who was both intimidating and irresistibly compelling. The sharp intensity in his gaze and the rugged, rebellious aura he carried became a benchmark for gritty character roles in Hollywood for years to come. Yet his performance in American Graffiti was only a small fragment of an expansive career. Over the decades, Bo Hopkins became one of the most dependable and hardworking actors any director could hope to cast. Tireless in his dedication, unafraid of demanding roles or difficult conditions, he immersed himself in more than 140 film and television projects. Whether portraying edgy figures in action films or deeply layered characters, he consistently infused each role with life, transforming even supporting parts into unforgettable moments on screen. By the time of his passing in 2022, Bo Hopkins had built an artistic legacy worthy of profound respect. He never chased fleeting fame. Instead, he won over audiences through unwavering professionalism and a passionate love for his craft. Looking back on a career spanning more than 140 productions, one sees not only a talented actor, but also the spirit of a resilient warrior. A man who devoted his entire life to the art of cinema, leaving behind vivid performances that will never fade. 10. Jana Belin, the Buddha girl and a quiet choice beyond the spotlight. In the vibrant, colorful world of American Graffiti, Jana Belin left a memorable impression as the Burger Girl Buddha, a symbol of youthful charm, innocence, and radiant energy. Amid a cast charged with ambition and momentum on their journey toward Hollywood stardom, her presence felt like a gentle, refreshing breeze, subtle, yet unforgettable. For many, it seemed like the perfect starting point for a promising acting career, a golden ticket into the world of A-list fame. Yet life does not always follow the script the public expects. At the very moment when her career stood on the threshold of greater recognition, Jana Belin made a decision that surprised many. She chose to step away. Not because of a lack of talent, nor due to any dramatic downfall, but simply because she discovered a different path that held deeper meaning for her. She turned away from the glittering allure of the spotlight, declined the calls of Hollywood, and embraced the quiet rhythms of ordinary life. In doing so, she chose a private existence, free from the scrutiny of cameras, the pressures of fame, and the relentless demands of the industry, finding instead a sense of peace within the home she lovingly built. Jana Belin's disappearance from the entertainment world was not an act of retreat, but a deliberate and courageous choice. Her story reminds us that a person's worth is not measured by how often they appear on screen, but by whether they find genuine happiness within themselves. Today, when audiences recall the name Buddha, they remember not only the charming Burger Girl, but also admire a woman who had the courage to live authentically, choosing peace, and writing her life story in her own quietly radiant way. 11. Wolfman Jack, the soul of the music and an eternal legacy. In American Graffiti, if the gleaming cars and vibrant costumes formed the body of the film, then the raspy, hypnotic voice of Wolfman Jack is its very soul, breathing life into every frame. As a legendary disc jockey, he was far more than just a character on screen. He was the emotional bridge, the unseen driver guiding the electrifying rhythms of rock, a role that defined an entire generation. Each time his voice echoed through the film's radio waves, audiences were transported back in time, to endless nights where music and freedom ruled every street corner. His presence in the film was not merely a display of professionalism. but the embodiment of a deep and passionate love for music. George Lucas, the visionary director, understood the irreplaceable value of that contribution. In recognition of Wolfman Jack's unique talent and impact, Lucas generously shared substantial bonuses from the film's remarkable box office success. This was more than financial fairness. It was a profound acknowledgement of an artist who had truly ignited the spirit of the film, transforming a simple script into a timeless cultural phenomenon. Though Wolfman Jack has passed on, his voice continues to resonate through the frames of cinematic history. He proved that in the world of film, sometimes a single voice is enough to etch a legacy forever. The rewards he received were a fitting tribute to a legend who devoted his life to telling stories through music, leaving behind an enduring legacy that continues to echo in the hearts of audiences around the world. Conclusion: American Graffiti, a symphony of youth, ambition, and shadows behind the spotlight. American Graffiti is far more than a coming-of-age film about long summer nights spent cruising in customized cars through the streets of Modesto in 1962. It is a richly layered portrait where the dazzling glow of Hollywood intertwines with the somber undertones of real life. The film acts as a kaleidoscopic lens, capturing not only the innocence of first love and the simplicity of youthful joy, but also serving as a haunting declaration of the price paid by those who dare to chase cinematic dreams. Behind every character, every vibrant frame brought to life by George Lucas, lies the real story of artists who lived, burned with passion, and ultimately faced life's harshest trials. From the towering success of stars like Ron Howard and Harrison Ford, to the quiet tragedies endured by Mackenzie Phillips and the emotional wounds hidden behind the scenes, American Graffiti becomes an unflinching mirror reflecting the unforgiving nature of the entertainment industry. It is a world where talent is not always rewarded fairly, and where fame can sometimes become a gilded cage for those who create it. Yet, above all, the film's enduring legacy lies in the remarkable resilience of its cast. Whether confronted with injustice, illness, or fading recognition, they pressed forward, either fueled by an unwavering passion for the arts or guided by wise choices that led them toward a more peaceful life. Their stories remain deeply moving lessons, reminding us that behind every legend is a real human being with real struggles, and that true brilliance lies not in awards or box office success, but in the courage to endure life's storms with unwavering strength.